Texas Republican Congressman Bill Flores. Congressman Flores, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Maria. Great to be on with you this morning.
What do you make of all of this?
Well, we're at a time of transition right now, and I think it's time for the caucus to find that visionary, unifying leader and to move forward on a combined front to address the issues that the American people are telling us are on their minds.
Yeah, who would you like to see in the seat?
Well, I think Paul Ryan would be a great leader. I think he would be visionary. He would be unifying. He understands the critical policy issues that we have, and he would work with folks like me, who chair the Republican Study Caucus, the largest caucus in Congress, to advance positive, conservative, and bold solutions to deal with the challenges we have.
I mean, is there a plan to bring the two sides together, the more conservative end of the party, the Freedom Caucus? What's the plan to get unified?
Well, I think the plan is that we need to sit down and make sure we're all listening to each other so that we can find out how to create that common vision to advance a bold agenda that addresses what the American people are telling us are on their minds. And Paul Ryan is one of those people that can do it. We need to sit down with everybody from the Tuesday group on one end of the scale to the Freedom Caucus on the other end of the scale. Fortunately, my group of 170 members, the largest caucus in all of Congress, is willing to be part of that conversation, and we're ready to advance positive agendas.
Hey,
Congressman, well, you've had plenty of time to talk. What if it's not Paul Ryan? Because to paraphrase the Wall Street Journal editorial page, regardless of who you get in as the speaker, you've got a sub-movement, a minority in the party that is making ludicrous demands and is dividing the party right down the middle and has created a mess.
Well, I think the answer is this. I think we need to sit down face to face, eye to eye, and go through what the concerns are of each and every member of Congress. There are 246 of us. And I think once we find out what those issues are and what our common vision is, then I think we can find a way to be unified, and we'll find that unifying leader. Look, we've got 246 very talented people in the Republican caucus in the House, and I believe that there is a leader that will emerge from that group that can be that visionary leader that unifies us.
Jack Otter?
Congressman, one change within especially the Republican Party, but really all of politics, is that instead of compromise, the art of the deal, getting things done, now people are rewarded for taking bold but ultimately, frankly, useless stands. You know, the word is no. Is there a way that the party and therefore all of government can get back to compromise and say, look, nobody got everything they wanted, but hey, American people, we actually did something. We passed a law. We fixed the highways, whatever.
Right. I really do think there is a way. I think we need to look at the way Ronald Reagan viewed the world, and that is, if I can find somebody that agrees with me 80% of the time, they're my friend. And so we need to sit down with everybody and find out what is that 80% that unifies us, and quit worrying so much about the 20%. And at that point, that 80% will build a common, unifying, visionary agenda that we can all agree to execute moving forward.
And what is the priority in that agenda? I'm with Bill Stone today from PNC Asset Management, and there are a number of areas, Bill, that you think markets and investors want to see.
Yeah, good morning, Congressman. I think for us in the financial markets, the biggest thing is just first thing is the debt ceiling, and then the second is obviously the next continuing resolution in December. So how are your feelings on how that's going to play out?
Well, let me say this. We in the Republican Study Committee have been working on both of those issues. If you take the latter item first, the continuing resolution, I sat down with Republican leadership in the House 4 weeks ago and said, look, here is a plan to deal with this. And we put it on paper, and it's only about a 20-page bill. And it advances all the things that are important to us from a policy perspective, to deal with an overreaching regulatory regime, to deal with deficits, to deal with health care. That was cast aside. But I believe that through this time that we're having, that will be on the table starting before December the 11th. Now, for the most important near-term issue, we've got to deal with the debt ceiling. We don't need to destabilize the markets. We don't need to make the capital markets uncomfortable. We don't want to spook the American people. We don't want to spook the international community. And so, again, we in the RSC are developing a plan that deals with the debt ceiling, but we also get something out of it so that the number and size of future debt ceiling increases is reduced. That's what the American people want to see. That's the ultimate stabilizer of all of the fiscal issues in the country.
Yeah, but in the meantime, all of this time going back and forth, trying to figure out who's in the lead, gives an opportunity for President Obama to push his agenda through with no pushback from any of you.
Well, I would push back on that, Maria, because if you look at what we're going to have on the floor today, we've got a bill that's going to pass on a bipartisan basis to lift the ban on oil exports. So even though we're having some leadership discussions, you can say a leadership struggle, we are still advancing an agenda that deals with the challenges the American people are facing.
All right, very important point there, Congressman. Good to have you. Thanks so much, sir.
Yes, great to be with you this morning.
Congressman Bill Flores there joining us.